Landman Episode 5, Where is Home, offers up plenty of tension thanks to the conflicts Tommy, Billy Bob Thornton, and Cooper, Jacob Laughland, find themselves in, all tied back to the patch. The 63-minute episode is the Taylor Sheridan show's longest so far, and for good reason. As Tommy readjusts to life with Angela, Ali Lata, and their daughter, Ainsley, Michelle Randolph, living in his home, new problems emerge in the oil field. Meanwhile, Cooper reciprocates contact with Ariana, Paulina Chavez, despite warnings from Manuel, J.R. Villarreal. Tommy's personal and professional lives finally start to clash. Tensions reach their apex in a heartbreaking tragedy. Billy Bob Thornton's Tommy looking intensely at Coop in the hospital in Landman Episode 2. Throughout Episode 5, Tommy can be seen juggling the two sides of his life, both his attempts at putting his family back together and problems in the patch. This continues to make him the focal point for many characters in Landman, particularly for the cartel. In a tense confrontation, the cartel attempts to get money out of Tommy for the truck crash in Episode 1, which resulted in their latest drug supply going up in flames. However, with impeccable abrasiveness, the protagonist informs them of the disastrous consequences waiting for them if they try toying with the oilfields Monty, John Hamm, about. The urgency of the issue is made more palpable when boss, Mustafa Speaks, refuses to send his crew back on the patch until the criminal business has been dealt with. However, the stress follows Tommy home, where, after a comedic scene of forceful redecoration, Angela has prepared a family dinner. His admittance to the day's events leads to a fight, but the pair's quick makeup shows they've matured since their divorce. But the standout part of Tommy's story happens at the very end when he allows Angela to come with him to see Monty. On the way, they stopped by a rig where pipes were haphazardly stacked on the back of a truck. One worker kicks them, causing them to topple on his body, crushing him to death. Much like Episode 1's shocking ending, this tragedy reflects the dangers of Landman's oilfields with heartbreaking somberness. And, with Angela having witnessed the aftermath, it seems her and her husband might come to an understanding about how his job mentally affects him. Cooper's story has its own form of heartbreak. He just wants to do right by his deceased friends. On the opposite side of the Norris family coin is Cooper, still dealing with the aftermath of losing his first crew in the series premiere. Ariana called him at the end of Episode 4, with Episode 5 picking up with his arrival at her house. He forms a connection to her through their shared loss, while also helping her by organizing her bills and mowing her lawn. While the latter results in a violent confrontation with Manuel, Ariana stands up for herself, kissing Cooper to anger her cousin. It's a strong, heat-of-the-moment decision that defines the fearlessness of her character. Another standout part of the episode was the developing relationship between her and Cooper. While the young man clearly isn't looking for a romantic connection, it's hard to ignore the sparks flying between them. These wholesome moments added some much-needed levity to the darker elements of the episode, offering hope within hopelessness despite the losses they've both endured. It was a perfect illustration of how, even in the endless struggles of the patch, people can still find ways to live through their pain. Unfortunately, this is undone by Manuel, Antonio, Octavio Rodriguez, and a group of men ambushing Cooper at his trailer, mercilessly beating him. Landman's oil workers leave with Boss in the morning, while the last shot of Tommy's son shows his quiet body on the floor while his ambiguous fate adds more potential tragedy to his father's plate. This, coupled with the crushed worker, gives the show's darkness almost too much room. However, it does open the door for a dramatic continuation, all hanging on whether Cooper is still alive. Landman continues its careful balance of family and workplace conflict. Episode 5's developments offer plenty of intrigue. Landman image of Billy Bob Thornton custom image by Yaelin Chacon. The major events Tommy and Cooper experience are the core elements of Episode 5, both of them offering intriguing stories that continue building the tense nature of the patch. Thornton and Laughland's performances were exceptional in this episode, as both the well-meaning son and the abrasive father went through challenges equally in their own ways. Their differences elevated the show, while also emphasizing the intensity between the whole Norris family, despite the pair's well-meaning decisions. Although it seems unlikely Landman will let up on the dark moments anytime soon, they seem like they're building to some intense pinnacles later down the road. Even if Tommy's compounding struggles feel piled on, the show's back half can do plenty to resolve some of them while potentially tying a few together in the process. With the series continuing to provide both tragic and comforting stories, it's still maintaining a strong balance that's perfect for what it's trying to accomplish.